Well, hello, folks. I have in my hand the elixir of life, one of the great beverages of all time.
Well, you are a tea drinker.
I'm absolutely a tea drinker. I got kicked off of coffee because I had headaches. But anyhow, we're going to tell you about what this will do for you. Yeah. It's one of the most commonly and widely studied drinks in America. It's called tea, T-E-A-T. And the verdict is in. The tea is very good for you. Our health reporter, Laurie Johnson, tells us why.
When it comes to our health, tea packs a powerful punch. Combined studies examining thousands of tea drinkers have led scientists to conclude a consistent dose of tea is good for the body. Most of the research was done in Asian countries on people drinking hot green tea. The amount mattered. Usually, people only saw health benefits after drinking at least 3 cups a day. That's the dose Manhattan cardiologist Patrick Fratellone recommends to his patients. Benefits include lower risk of diabetes, liver disease, and more.
The active component in green tea is EGCG, and that's a polyphenol that helps reduce cholesterol, heart disease, and protects against cancer.
It comes from the Camellia sinensis plant, as do black and white teas.
I like organic tea because they're grown in, you want to make sure it's grown in an area that's free of metal in the soil. So you don't want to have lead, cadmium, mercury, any bad toxic elements. If it's in a bag, you don't want a bag that has a staple on it. Sometimes that could get in the tea, but I'd rather have loose. Sometimes I don't even strain it. I leave it in there and tell them time to eat the leaves.
Research shows green tea also helps the brain by improving memory, reducing the risk of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and depression, as well as significantly lowering your chance of having a stroke. Leave it longer in the hot water and it gets even better for you.
Tea is meant to be drunk plain. And you get the more medicinal benefits. When you add milk or sugar, you can deactivate some of the active medicinal components. If there's anything to add, I would add raw honey. So it's better to have hot or lukewarm. So when people have iced tea, green iced tea, you lose a lot of the benefits.
In addition to the teas you'd find at the grocery store, there are also lots of other teas that are very effective at treating specific medical conditions in lieu of popping a pill. Dr. Fratellone is also a registered herbalist with a vast knowledge of teas made from various plants, trees, and shrubs. His patients often drink those teas instead of taking allergy medicines, antacids, cough suppressants, and more.
There are many teas that have antibiotic properties, so you don't always have to take an antibiotic. Yarrow has a great antibiotic profile against many bacteria and viruses. I use barberry, berberine. These are all teas from natural plants.
He points out many conventional medicines derive from plants.
We have a tea for arthritis. I use white willow bark, which is from the tree Salix. It's the active ingredient of aspirin, so I mix white willow bark, a little turmeric, a little ginger, and probably some devil's claw.
Dorota Meller needed to overcome her chronic fatigue.
So I was really dizzy all the time. I felt weak. I felt tired. I couldn't get out of bed. And then when it was evening time, I couldn't fall asleep, but I was always just lethargic.
Dr. Fratellone discovered a problem in her intestinal tract.
So not only the iron, but my vitamin D, my vitamin B, I wasn't absorbing anything that I was eating or my supplements or vitamins. I expected to be put on medication or additional supplements. I really didn't know, but Dr. Fratellone said it's as simple as a tea mixture. And when he first said it, I was maybe a little bit hesitant. I was like, how is this tea gonna help me?
Within a month, she felt better.
And my iron for the first time in probably 10 years is normal. And so is my vitamin D. So I know that whatever he gave me, it worked, and it's as simple and as easy as a tea.
I believe as an MD and an herbalist that the gut is the gateway of all disease. So I want to heal the gut first. So you might take gluten, dairy, and let's say corn out of your diet. Unless you heal your gut, you're still going to have the symptoms. So the gut healing tea contains slippery elm, marshmallow, meadowsweet, and raspberry.
He says cleavers, mullein, blue violet, and lady's mantle are good for breast health and PMS.
These are all teas for keeping the female side active, and we make that as a tea. I give that to some of the patients when they're going into menopause to ease in with a nice natural tea instead of taking a lot of things that are harmful.
It's important to know these teas can interact with conventional medicine, so check with your doctor or registered herbalist before drinking them. The growth of these treatments has led to a relatively new healthcare provider known as a naturopathic physician. They attend an accredited 4-year program focusing on botanical medicine, food as medicine, and other natural remedies.
I think there needs to be more marketing to realize this medicine is available and that you don't have to jump on a statin or a blood pressure medication when you might be able to control it with just some dietary changes and maybe the use of an herb, which is not that much different than a drug, which is why it's important, whether it's tea or herbal pills, that you do see a naturopath, because you need to have coordination of care with other medications as well.
While naturopathic doctors practice in each state, they're only licensed in 19, with more on the way. So for overall better health, begin or increase your daily dose of green tea. Research overwhelmingly concludes it's worth the effort. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Wow, I think I've been doing it for all these years.
Exactly.
You know, I got a call last night from my doctor. I have a doctor, and he took a blood sample, as they do every so often, to see how you're doing. And he said, you know, a couple of years ago, I told you that you had a little bit of high cholesterol, and I told you to take Crestor. Well, there wasn't any way in heaven I'm taking a statin. I'm just not going to do it. So he said, what did you do? He said, you don't have any high blood pressure anymore. I said, well, I'm into nuts and berries. But I didn't tell him about all the tea I drink. I mainline this stuff.
Well, you've been drinking tea for a long time.
Well, I used to drink coffee. I drink 6, 7 cups of coffee a day. And when I stopped to fast one day, and I had such a hideous headache, I asked the Lord to take it away. And subsequent to that time, I haven't drunk any coffee. And coffee is addictive, and it does give a headache. And you know, but tea doesn't. You can stop drinking tea; it doesn't hurt.
Well, and it seems like there are a lot of natural ways with tea to really address many different physical needs.
But you know, the thing about it is, chai is Chinese for tea. So somebody said, I'm going to drink chai today. Well, good for you. You're drinking tea. It's just a different name and a different language. But there are all kinds of teas. But, you know, my son Gordon, he brings this stuff from India, and I have this they have these wonderful things that they get the little leaves of teas off the mountain tops someplace in India, and they pack them up and send them in. And it's really delicious.
Yeah, sometimes even the little flower is still in there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I used to do the green tea with the jasmine. That's what I
remember that.
Yeah, when
There's
I was
a
in China,
flavor to that.
I did green tea and jasmine. Anyhow, here's looking at you. All right, Terry.
Well.